Hi, good to see you.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Doing good, actually.
Fabulous. We just wanted to ask you a few questions, obviously, as Airbourne's manager. Just wondered how you got into band management.
Well, actually, I played drums in a band when I was in Canberra in Australia.
Okay.
And this was in the 80s. So I was playing in lots of big, you know, when I had hair, and I played in big hard rock bands and things like that too when I was younger.
Yeah.
And I kind of became the guy who organised band practice, who put the gigs on and put all the posters up, and so I kind of naturally learned how to do it. And one day another friend's band said to me, "Oh, can you manage our band too?" And I was, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Well, you manage your band." I was like, "Do I?" "Oh, yeah, I do." And I kind of started there, and I realised that packing and setting up drums is no fun, and that I wasn't very good at playing the drums, and I just kind of naturally went there. And then I became a tour manager to kind of learn about the trade and how the industry works, and started working for a lot of different bands, and so that's how I really got good knowledge of it, and promoted a lot of my own shows in my hometown, and sort of worked out how to put on a gig and how to look after bands and all those things, and just sort of been a nice natural progression into management.
Really started from the ground up, so you knew what you were doing.
Very much so.
And how did you first come to hear about Airbourne?
Actually, it was a funny story. It wasn't in Australia. I was in Texas at the time, at South by Southwest at that music convention, and I was in a bar late at night with some Australian friends. There's actually a girl called Mary Mikalakis there, and she's like in Australia. She's like a journalist, and she, you know, she puts on some of her own shows and things like that too. And I was, you know, in the bottom of my beer going, "Where have all the good rock bands gone? I'm sick of these shoegazing bands that, you know," and I was just complaining about all the crap bands that were around at the time and how I can't find any good bands. And she went, "You've got to go and see these kids Airbourne. They played at the Cherry Bar where she DJ'd.
Yeah.
She said they played there, they came up from Warrnambool, and they played there a couple of weeks ago, and these kids were fucking amazing. They were great. You'd love them." So I went back to my hotel room that night, I looked them up online, and they had this sort of dodgy homemade website, but I just saw a picture of them and went, yes. I didn't even need to really, there was no music on the website or anything. No. And I went home and I went down to Melbourne. I flew down because I'm from Sydney. I flew down to Melbourne within 3 days of being home from Texas, and I went to a bar called Pony, and there was about maybe 5 or 6 other people there, and for the first time in my career as a manager, I walked straight backstage afterwards and was like, "Hi, I'm Greg, I'm a manager. I'm really interested in you guys. You want to have a talk about it?" And I knew in the first song I wanted to manage him. I knew this was something I wanted to do. So,
just instant.
Yeah. So it was just through a good friend who picked it for me, you know.
Fabulous. That's great. And moving on to during managing Airbourne, the music's used a lot in gaming and films.
Yeah.
Do you think of that as sort of the new way to get their music out there, rather than, because obviously mainstream radio is not really playing?
Yeah, exactly. Very much so. I mean, from day one, the big plan for Airbourne in terms of, well, not the big plan, but the idea of how are we going to actually break this band in a new world of fragmented media and all these things, was all about syncs, as in syncing songs into TV, movie and games, and into touring. Obviously it was all about the touring, so we wanted to start on a really small level, develop and build everything, and the gaming was very important. I mean, I really feel like games are the new radio. You know, for a lot of kids, especially kids like this that are into it.
The outreach.
That's right. So I was talking to somebody in Los Angeles about this, about the band, and how this was going to be really important. And they connected me with a friend of theirs called Steve Schnurr. And Steve runs the publishing company that we're now signed to. He's one of the people that runs it. It's called Artwork. And it's actually a joint venture between Network, which is a big music company, and EA Games.
All right.
So our publisher is actually, you know, partly owned by EA Games. And when we showed them the music and told them about it, Steve's an old record company boss himself. He's from the music business, and he does all the music sync for EA and runs this publisher. So he had the same vision. He got it, signed the band, and so from day one it was important to all of us that we got in as many games as humanly possible. You know.
And films now. I mean, there's been a couple. I think Yogi Bear was the latest.
Can I tell you a funny Yogi Bear story? Actually, this is you know. So Yogi Bear, the big 3D movies come out, right? I don't know whether it was Disney or whoever it is, right? The big house film. And back in Australia, I was like, I really wanted to see it, and it's this scene where Yogi steals a picnic hamper and rushes off and they play Running Wild while the park guy chases him. And I thought, well, I want to go see this in the cinema because it's 3D and it'd be fun to see Airbourne. So I get to the cinema and I suddenly realise I'm this like alone 40-year-old man in a sea of young children and their mothers, all of the mothers looking at me like, you dodgy bastard. And I was just like, oh, what have I done? And as soon as the song finished, you know, it was like near halfway through the movie, I just got up and just got straight out of it. I was like, oh God, I can't believe I didn't think about that. So it was quite funny. But yeah, in Yogi Bear, the Lost Boys 2, I remember when I was younger, Lost Boys was a really big film. So to be on Lost Boys 2, even though it went straight to DVD, we were the entire opening song in that movie, you know, the whole opening sequence is in there, and it's really, really cool. We've even had strange things like the online trailer for another Disney film, whatever the Rapunzel, Tangled, that was it. We had the online trailer for that, and and there's been lots of different TV shows and along the way and movies. So,
it fits really well, doesn't it? It works really well. The music works really well in there. And you were backstage at last year's Download Festival over here in the UK when the power was cut. It must have been quite interesting backstage when that happened. Yeah,
it was. It became a bit of a screaming match between me and the stage manager and security, and you know, I mean, the people who were on the other side of that cutting the power, you know, to be honest, there's no real wrong or right in all this. I mean, it was raining, it's this guy's job to look after the safety of the artists and people, and Joel's right on top of the scaffolding, you know, he could come down, he could hurt himself, he could hurt other people. But you know, either way, it's my job to, you know, at that point in time to, you know, make sure mediate, which was more about us pointing each other in the chest, yelling at each other behind the Marshall stacks, and it was pretty much just like, you're going to have a fucking riot out there if you don't turn the power back on right now, and he did. But afterwards, yeah, they took me down to see the police, and I got a bit of a, you know, talking to by the police about health and safety, and you know, like I say, it's all kind of fair enough, but yeah, it was interesting. It was an interesting moment in management. Well, I mean, the truth is I find it hard to be mad at them because I mean, I love seeing Joel climb. I love seeing him do it. It's great. It's really entertaining. But as his manager, I feel like I've got a responsibility to say, that's fucking nuts, and you might die, and you know, you shouldn't be doing this. So I'm always in two minds about that. A little bit torn. Yeah, always have been. You know, but rock and roll's supposed to be dangerous, so you know. Yeah, what can you do? That's it. And the Airbourne are supporting Iron Maiden at the moment. Wondered whether you'd had a chance to meet, is it Rod Smallwood, Iron Maiden's manager? You know what, I haven't met him face to face yet, but we've talked on the phone and on emails and stuff, and he's been an absolutely brilliant guy. He's been really good. I'm hoping to meet him in Cardiff actually in the next couple of days at the next show. So yeah, I really am looking forward to it, because some of those big guys can often be a bit intimidating, or they don't really care. Where he's been fantastic to us. Him and the whole crew have looked after us like, you know, 5-star all the way. Can't say enough good things about the Maiden camp. That must have been a fantastic slot to get for the guy. Oh, it's brilliant. I mean, who else do you want to do? You know, like, oh yeah, maybe some Van Halen and some Metallica and maybe some AC/DC. We've already done Rose Tattoo. You know, there's not not a lot more we need to do with that side of it. That's it. And Airbourne have a very strong following here in the UK and in Western Europe. Is it a lot harder in the US for bands? Yeah. I mean, breaking America. Another manager once said to me, "Trying to break America is like eating an elephant in one sitting," and then he revised it and said, "No, it's like eating a dinosaur in one sitting." And he's right. It's you know, you've got to think about it broken up into different states and working on all of them individually. I mean, it's a lot of people there. It's a lot of competition there. America is really tough, and you know, we're still working it. I've got American management partners over there now with a guy called Bill McGaffey from Indigo. And so I manage the band for the world and oversee it, but his company takes care of North America now for us, so we've got one dedicated management company on the ground dealing with all the little details and everything that comes out. So we're really hoping on this next record that's going to really help everything, and we're going to be driving that really hard. But look, there's an old saying in the business, is the band going to break America, or will America break the band? You know, and it's true. It's big, it's tough, and you know, and we're in there for the long haul. We're gonna make it happen. It's just the question is how long, and you know, how much of the dinosaur we can eat.
That's it. But obviously, they're substantial. I think they did start in the UK tour in Europe.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a good place for the bands to come over and start?
Yeah, we wanted to start in the UK always, in terms of an international kind of picture. And the first shows were Borderline. And it was all about, everything was about this slow natural progression, whatever country we were going to go to. So we wanted to be in a small venue, sell it out, move on to the next one, sell it out, and every tour, every time, just get bigger and bigger without having to try and jump, you know. My experience as a tour manager was that anyone who kind of went straight into big venues wasn't necessarily around in a few years from now. But if you build a fan base from the ground up, bit by bit, in slow, painful increments, you'd get it. And the beauty of the UK is several things. One, geographically it's quite small and tight. You've got a lot of people in a small space. Most importantly, you've got a ginormous amount of rock fans, hard rock fans, with a great heritage of supporting them and being there with them. I mean, it was like plugging into a system that already existed. The question was, were they going to accept us or not? And you know, really glad that they have, and that it's connecting and has connected. That's right.
I think they're doing very well here, aren't they?
Yeah. Here in Germany, France, Canada. You know, it's all building beautifully.
Fabulous. Well, and tonight we've got the rescheduled show at Shepherd's Bush, so that should be fantastic.
Completely sold out too, so pleased with that. Can't be happier.
Summer
in London, it's winter back home, we've got a sold out show. So
be a good night.
Perfect.
Thank you very much for your time.
Good. Thanks for your guys' support too. We appreciate it.